hate. I have begun to hate Brandon the Boss. Every nanomillimeter of scripting spanning across all 84 updates of Anime Last Stand have made me come to hate Brandon the Boss with a passion unknown, more than my own virginity made me feel when I was younger. That's how bad this game is. But today, after failing once to rank it and record it right, we're back with the fully completed tier list, already ready to go, of every single Anime Last Stand update to ever be conceived, ranked on the politically and geographically correct tier list. Now with me today, I got my boy Infinity from the Discord. He does not have a YouTube or anything, so I don't got nothing to link for him, but he's a chill guy. So thanks for him for helping me out here. He's like Anime Last Stand dude. He knows like everything from all the updates. I only played some. I played like the first 30% of the updates. Then I missed like 50%. I played the last 20% from like November onward, like Halloween onward. So welcome in, man.
That's why you got me here, bro.
Yes, sir. That's why I got him here. He's here with me. He's here with me.
Good to be here. Thanks. Hi, my name is Infinity. I love women. And I just wanted to point out that originally we had a 2-hour-long video of us putting together this tier list.
2 hours, but I forgot to record.
No. Bala did not forget. So the story is that Brandon the Boss hacked into our systems
Brandon Yahoo came
and turned off our audio. He turned off our audio. So that way he tried to silence us. Tried to silence us.
He did.
Speaking the truth. But we're back.
We are back.
Because we cannot be silenced. Because our hate will spread through generations.
Our hate will grow and grow. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start from the top to the down below bottom. Now, I have changed up the tier list slightly from what we had it before. I just made it a little bit more concise. I only got 3 up in the peak right now, which is the Halloween Part 1 update, World 2 update, and the JJK World 2 update. But we're going to go through every single one starting from the top and going all the way down to the complete gutter garbage that is the rest. So
I'm working with an outdated image here, you're gonna have to guide me on.
I got you. I'll tell you what updates are coming. So we're gonna start off in the peak tier. We're gonna start off at the absolute highest peaks of Anime Last Stand, that being Halloween Part 1. Now this was the update that came out. It was literally right around Halloween time, and it was the biggest, one of the biggest, like most hype-wise popularity updates the game has ever gotten. Genuinely, it is, I think, the highest recorded player count the game got, and it was like the most basic update of all time. Update 71, October 7th, 2025. The update that literally broke the economy of the game so bad that for generations to come, it was awful. Genuinely ruined the entire game. Just turned it into a sandbox for the most part.
The reason why this game had a bunch of players was because this update was very, very farmable. See, when this update came out, they introduced capsules, which those capsules, if you grinded the events for some, because the infinite mode and the other game modes were so like bountiful with all of the materials that you could just get like thousands of rerolls, thousands of stack cubes.
You're getting 12,000 a day. There was no point in elemental caverns because you'd have infinite element things. Like you were stacked. You had everything you needed to be insanely good at the game, including the new item of glitched potions. Or they weren't new at the time, but they were now free, like easy to get through the capsules. So now you could get every unit in the game glitched easily with no difficulty.
Let's talk. Speaking of the units, the 3 main units of this update that you really need to focus on were Death's Son. Obviously, his nuke was insanely powerful, dealing percentage damage.
And he would get like 50% damage every single time he'd kill a boss enemy or a mini boss, which was just insane.
Then there's
Yeah,
Mob,
Mob.
whose ability was allowed him to stack damage, and of course the
The
King
God Lelouch. Yeah,
Lelouch.
literally
Lelouch.
knockback, slow, reverse, summon, stun, nuke. He had everything you could ever really need in a unit. And he did insanely good damage too. He was just that guy. He was genuinely just that guy. And this is in our peak number 1 for the update just because it was the most fun you could really have on Anime Last Stand. Out of almost every update, it was the most fun. But it's
However, just because it's number 1 does not mean that it was a completely flawless update. Like he said, it broke the economy and it basically proved the end for the game.
Yeah, like
that's why in second place, I think
we have the
second
World
place
2
is the true
probably
greatest
best
update,
which is the World 2 update. Genuinely, probably the best thing the game has ever gotten, ever. It introduced the godly rarities. They reworked elements so that now elemental caverns were actually useful. The elements had a purpose. There was team building. The units were sick. We got literally the most generational unit ever, Benamaru, literally the GOAT starter unit of all time. And then Escanor with his godly team ability, just 20% damage boost all the way through. He was hard to get. He was a grind. He was a pity macro. But this was probably the biggest hype of Anime Last Stand history. Honest to God, it probably was.
Now, this isn't the first time Brandon has said that this might be the most hype update. However, this is one of the first and only times where the hype is actually delivered. And we'll get to an update where the hype was definitely
That's going to be the end of the video,
but we have I think the best thing we should do is I think we should shorten up the explanations a little bit because we have a lot of updates.
Well, I mean, a lot of these updates are just raid ones that are easy to go through. So, like, going over the main peak ones, I think we can take a little bit extra time on because, like, some of these, like, story mode raid update, it was fun, it was okay, blah, 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 blah. That's kind of what it's going to turn into pretty soon because we went pretty in-depth last time, but that came out to 2 hours. So, but yeah.
All right, let's talk about Jujutsu. Let's talk about the Jujutsu Kaisen.
Now, you guys are probably wondering why is this random JJK godly update, the second godly update here? The reason for that is because this is also when the game was, for me and Infinity personally, probably the most fun. Honest to God, because you had one of the coolest units, Gojo, who literally was godlike on every single team, even when his element wasn't like good, because he had an area of slow that was literally just infinity. He had a nuke. He was full AoE. He had his time stop. Then you had Sukuna, who was just an insane damage dealer. Yuji Itadori was good. Todo was good. Hikari was good. This is one of the only updates in the game where almost all of the units except for one of them were good. Almost all of them were. If you look at Anime Last Stand now, or like any update from 2025 onwards, genuinely, not a single update has more than like 1, maybe 2 units that are good. Can't name one.
I agree. I mean, but the thing is that like obviously with these more recent updates, all of the units are going to be good because they deal a ton of damage and can easily slaughter any event. But while those units are good, the update is just going to suck because why would you just get those units? At this point, you're just getting the units because you like the characters, not because they're strong.
Yeah, exactly. And like this is back when team building was actually purposeful. So like these units, they were helpful. They were good. They were genuinely good. And that's what made it fun. That like this was a peak update to drop at a peak most impossibly good time of the game. It genuinely just was. Excuse me. So
what's next?
Next is the fun tier because the peak I'm only keeping in 3. So when we mean fun, just pure enjoyability. Update could have been bad, but at least it was fun and it had purpose behind it. So the first one is going to be the very first Berserk update of the game. So from here on in the video, we're going to kind of shorten things up a little bit because we got the main talking points out of the way. But we're still going to spend a little bit of time on these guys before we get to the really, really bad ones. So Infinity, you go ahead. You say your part on this because you were much more passionate about this update than I was. So go for it. Go for it.
I'm much more passionate about the updates like Berserk and JoJo's because they're my top 2 favorites. But yeah, the Berserk update was one of the updates that came before summer of 2024. It was one of the more infamous updates because it obviously added the legend of the game known as Guts. Guts being just an overall just insane unit throughout the history of this game. Then we also had the release of Griffith, who at the time Griffith was a really good unit because he was a full AoE slow, which was very, very good. We also had the release of Skull Knight, the capsule unit, who is another very, very good damage dealer. Overall, if this was a very good update to prepare a dark team because, as you know, World 2 would come out a little later and elements would matter. So these 3 units would be extremely useful for any dark team.
Yeah, so
now, obviously, there were some bad units, like there was Casca,
yeah,
there was
the little
Zod,
witch
and then
Zod, yeah. Not the
I
best.
forgot the witch's name.
I don't remember her name either. I haven't read the manga in a hot minute, but it was mainly just the big 3 that people really cared about. I mean, look, when you look up Berserk, you get 3 characters to show up. Guts, Skull Knight, and Griffith. Who were the best units in the update? Those 3. They were the most memorable and the most useful, and they were pretty good. Even Skull Knight got an extreme boost that made him pretty decent, like, back in 2025. So, honestly, just decent, fun update. Wasn't anything crazy, didn't have to be. At the time, it was just fun. It was just pure fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the next one is a little bit of a curveball, but it is the Part 7 update with Jonathan Joestar. Johnny Joestar? Go, Johnny. Go, Johnny. Not Jonathan.
Joestar.
My fault.
I mean, technically you're not wrong because Johnny is the alternate universe counterpart of Jonathan Joestar. But yes, so this next one is.
Let me see. Am I?
This next one, of course, is the godly Johnny Joestar update of Part 7 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yep, here it is.
And Part 8. We can't forget about Part 8.
Yeah, he is there.
But yeah, this update, of course, added characters like Gyro, Valentine, Wonder of You, Gappy, and of course the main unit of the update being Johnny Joestar. This update was very good.
It was just a chill, not too hard obtainment. Johnny was really, really good. This was before glitch potions were a thing, so it was still annoying to roll on units and stuff like that. But the trials weren't too bad. It was just pretty easy to get. Just kind of like a normal update. They reworked the soul system, so you know that was they undid everything they did in the damn Hunter x Hunter update. So you gotta say that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We're gonna get to that update later, but it's not bad.
Oh yes, we are.
It's not bad. Portal, battle pass.
It's not bad at all.
Bounties. It was just it was an update. It was just a good overall.
Now, if you're saying now, I don't want to see any comments saying he has a bias of JJBA. And before you say anything, yes, I have a bias of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, will that affect my ranking? Maybe.
Well, I mean, look, it's a mix of me and your ranking, right? So
yeah, that doesn't matter.
I would not. If the
matter.
update was really bad, I wouldn't have it up here. I genuinely just wouldn't. I would be like, nah, dude, that's that.
Which it wasn't.
That was garbage.
The update was genuinely good. Pretty chill grind, pretty easy event. Like it was good. It was good.
Tight. All right, now let's move on.
What's up?
Next up is the godly Wukong update, which is down. Where is it at?
The Christmas update.
Was that 2024?
Yes,
that was 2024 Christmas, right?
It was 2024 Christmas.
Yep,
yes.
That one right here. Yep. December 27th, 2 days after Christmas. Now, this update...
So this update obviously had the release of the godly Jin Mori from God of High School.
Yeah.
We also had another insane unit release, that being Super Gogeta from the Fusion Reborn movie.
Yeah,
we got a couple other...
we got some other
units.
decent units, yeah. But, like, dude, the main stuff, the main thing that people cared about was Gogeta and Jin Mori, bro. Because Gogeta... All you had to do was do an infinite mode for him. He wasn't even that hard to get. Literally just throw your character in there, max out everybody, put it on auto clicker, dude. Come back like 3 hours later, you had Gogeta. And you were goated, bro. Light team, popping. Jin Mori, he kind of had an annoying, a little bit of attainment, but it wasn't that bad. You know, he at least had had map hazards on his stuff. He had raid mini. Like, it was a decent obtainment. It wasn't the best thing in the world, but... He was really good. Gogeta was really easy to get. It was genuinely just a fun update, bro. I know that's what we're saying for most of these, but that's kind of what it comes down to, because ALS is a simple game. Because it never wants to innovate. It doesn't.
Yeah. Um, I was then we have the next update being obviously update
Yeah,
1, the
the
first
literal, yeah,
release.
literal release of the game. So,
Now, obviously, this game coming out was very big because this game was the first tower defense game to release after the death of Anime Adventures.
yes.
So
So it
obviously,
had
Anime Last Stand
people,
had very big shoes
yeah,
to
it had
fill.
people fiending. Now, the guy that owned it before Brandon was, I don't remember, Blam Spot. Now I'm remember his name like 2 hours
Blam
ago.
Spot.
So Blam
Yeah,
Spot,
him.
he was an owner of all time, we'll say. He lost the game to a
Yeah.
couple of kids, and then they sold it to Brandon the Boss, and he basically got nothing out of it. But overall, on the release of the update, game wasn't game wasn't too terribly bad. It had its bugs, it had its issues, but at the time, it was fresh. It was a low budget game, especially you can tell by the models, but it was something, and it was pretty fun for what it was. It was simple, it knew what it was, and that's it played its role. That's genuinely it. Came in, gave people the sub to Anime Adventures they wanted, added skill trees, added not really much other than that to keep it real for a while.
Yeah.
But hey, it was something. It was better than what we had, which
It's an
was
update.
a lot of the time not really too much besides AWTD, which was actually in its prime at the time. It was doing pretty good in 2024. It wasn't doing too bad if I remember. It
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But next, after that, on the fun list, we got the
Summer.
the first summer update of the game with Sid. Let me go find him. He should be where
This
yep,
update
right here.
brought Sid. This update brought Sid, Law, Frieren, Doflamingo, and
Yeah.
Urza into the game. All of them were pretty substantial units. Even the worst, which was Doflamingo, he was still technically an actual pretty good
Yeah,
unit.
especially for the time.
Um,
But the main two
yeah,
hitters were Loki, Sid, and kind of Freerun because they lasted the longest really. Like they were all good on release, but dude, Freerun was basically needed for the Godly Dio update, which we won't get into for a little bit, but she was she was basically needed for it because you either had her or you had the guy from the Kaiju number 8 update because you needed to start a light unit to really beat that mode, or you needed like 8 people with at least one person having them, right? And Sid,
and speaking of the Kaiju number 8, and speaking of the Kaiju number 8
yeah,
guy, let's get into the next update being Kaiju
yeah,
number 8.
literally right after, right before World 2. So,
Yep, Kaiju number 8 brought a bunch of different characters whose names I cannot
yeah,
remember
literally,
because I have not seen the
but
show
I mean,
yet.
low-key, the update was just Kafka and 92% power Captain Division, dude. That was it. The other units,
I forgot his name.
yeah, me too. I honestly, dude, none of the other units mattered. Those two were the GOATs. But the reason we have it up here is because it was just decent. It was like the first kind of event thing that they really had going on for the game with, like, besides Summer. But the limited units were pretty good. Kafka was hype. He was super strong. This Vice Captain dude was extraordinarily useful, especially for, like, the literal next Dio update that was coming out. Like, the dreaded Dio update, but he was kind of needed for it, right? And it was an update. It was just fun at the time, especially in early ALS when you didn't have to really think too much when you were playing the game. Not like you have to now, but at least you were playing it. You weren't just pure macroing it the whole time. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Low key, it wasn't terrible at all. But
it's been a while since we've covered a godly update. So the next update, obviously, is Bleach 1000-Year Blood War Part 2.
Part 2
which brought, of
specifically.
course, the godly. Technically, it's not Horn of Salvation yet because it will get reworked. Godly Mugetsu Ichigo, as well as a bunch of other units from 1000-Year Blood War. This update was honestly a breath of fresh air because this came after a bit of a bad streak of a couple of 3 updates that I usually call the triple threat.
Yeah, the
of ALS.
actual spot of death of ALS for a minute there.
Yeah. And we'll point out which 3 those guys are when we get to them. But this update was honestly very good, very chill grind, very powerful, very good units.
Insanely good starter unit with Ichigo. Very, very good starter. Kind of solved the problem that the game was having difficulty-wise, which was the literal first 5 waves. Like, dude, if you got past the first 5 waves of Anime Last Stand in almost any game mode, bro, you're switching it easy, bro. Literal Swiss cheese in them enemies.
Plus Ichigo had a working passive, which was one of the first working passives, and I do remember me actually like first hearing this. His passive was called God is Dead.
Yeah, it was something. But overall,
Which for those who of Bleach fans, God is Dead. It was the name of the manga volume where Mugetsu was first introduced. So that was actually
that's
a pretty
actually tough. It's like tough you remember that. That is tough as hell. But yeah, no, it
Let's
introduced
go for
clans and everything too, so it was pretty good. But yeah, now we got the cosmic
One Punch Man
Cosmic Garo update. Now, this one's kind of controversial to have up here, but it's mainly just due to the fact that it was like a really easy, fun just getting the units update. Like it wasn't anything crazy, right? It was literally just like 5 units, but it evolved 4 of the best ones in the entire game at the time, which was, so Genos got an evolution, who was a pretty good starter unit, especially for fire. Tatsumaki, I almost forgot her name for a second. Tatsumaki, literally the GOAT of the game, one of the longest lasting, most effective units in the game, especially for green. Insanely crazy. And then you got Saitama, who was just doing literal billions. Like, he was doing millions of hundreds of millions, and then he had a billion damage nuke along with Cosmic Garo, who was just, he was just the GOAT, bro.
Cosmic Garo.
He was Cosmic Garo. And dude, they weren't that hard to get. You literally just did survival and you got all the units. So what
he was cosmicking so good. He was cosmicking
all over the entire game, bro. And then, I mean,
yeah, man.
Dude, this is what happens when you evolve literally the best units. You just get a fun, easy, like, wob smacking update, bro. But next up, we got the sort of lackluster, but also kind of fun first anniversary update for the game. So, for it being a first anniversary, they only dropped 3 units. But Beast Gohan was really cool. It was a really cool drop, especially because I think he would just recently... Superhero just recently came out, I think November of 2024, if I remember correctly, unless I'm kind of stupid, but...
yeah, November of 2024 was the release of Beast Gohan,
yeah. Sometime around there. So, low-key, it was cool. It was just cool to see him, and, you know, it was a chill update, really. It was just fun, easy to get the units. It didn't waste really all that much of your time, especially if you got lucky. Go in, summon, get the units, evolve them. You're in and out. Decent event. It was just fun. Honest to God, it was fun. Nothing too crazy, you know? It was really just bare bones for the most part, but it was fun.
And let's round out the fun tier with the first ever JoJo's Bizarre Adventure update.
Now I moved that one down to tolerable. I did move that one down to the top of tolerable.
So that is the end of the fun tier.
Because here we're gonna get into, really from this point on, it's kind of like these updates were just okay. They were either raid updates, reruns of previous summer or Christmas or whatever events, and they just had strong units that made the game easier. That's really when it's going to come down to. So we're going to
there are going to be a lot of updates in these tiers, so we are definitely going to speed run the explanations more.
So first JoJo updated the game back in 2024. Reason we got it up here mainly is just because it was just fun. I mean, my boy Infinity, he can say it himself. Big JoJo fan. He just liked the update. I mean, go for it, bro. Spit your piece real quick.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. The update was pretty good. The only complaint is that the character selection was a bit weird.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, to be honest, like, I get it. You picked one character from every single JoJo part all the way up to part 6, but why wouldn't you just pick Jonathan Joestar instead of, you know, Bruford?
Yeah, or
Stroheim makes sense.
Stroheim's cool
because you know, German science is the finest in the world. Part 3, honestly, Jotaro makes sense that he's good.
Yeah, part
4 with Akira.
Why him? I mean, he's cool, but like really random.
You know, we still don't have Josuke in the game, which is weird.
Part 5,
random ice.
Gachiata, random ice dude. Bro got killed by a pole. And then part 6, the police.
And then part 6, Viviana Westwood.
Yeah,
very weird. But we also had Jotaro Over Heaven, which kind of rounded it out.
He was cool. He was cool.
Overall, not bad update.
Now we got the summer part 2. This is where Sid finally came back, made his return. This was, let me see, I gotta find it real quick.
Summer
Summer
2025.
2025. That would be.
This update had the evolutions mainly of Sid, Doflamingo, Urza, Law,
Yeah.
Frieren, not yet.
Yeah.
Frieren would be getting her evolution
Yeah,
later,
but I mean,
as well as new unit releases of, I think it
it was
was,
Asuna, Megami, and Nami. It
yeah,
was just,
Asuna and
yeah, it
Megaman.
was just it was a lackluster update, man. It was just you do portals, you evolve the units from last year, and Sid's cool,
Yeah,
so
and that's
that
it.
carries it. So just an okay update. But next,
Next update, we're not going to spend much time on because it was literally just a
literally
raid
just
update,
a
being the
random
part
portal.
1 of Dragon Ball Super. This update literally only had 3 units, being Zamasu, Goku Black, and Trunks.
Yep.
But all 3 of those units were very, very strong, and was also another breath of fresh air after the triple threat that we got.
Yeah.
So overall, not
That's
bad.
not bad. Goku Black
Not
was
bad.
dominating the game. You get him, you solo everything, bro. It was peak. Low key, it was
Yeah.
peak. Next up, we got the first update of 2025, though. This was. It was aight. It was boss rush. You know, it was a game mode that they think is different from just doing a normal stage or a legend stage. Put some modifiers on it. You drop some cool units in it. You make them pretty good, and you got yourself an update. That's really what it came down to.
This is the Naruto update, by the
Yeah,
way. I think you forgot to
Yes,
mention that.
Great Ninja War boss rush Naruto update. It's right there.
Yeah, this
Madara on the
this
big front
update
cover.
added. Yep, this update added characters like Madara, Obito, Might Guy getting representation,
Yeah,
Minato, Naruto,
finally.
Sasuke.
Pain, who
Like,
should have been better, but it was
yeah,
alright. It wasn't bad. It was just it was an update.
not
Because I
bad.
mean, like, dude, we're keeping it real, guys. Everything below the fun tier, in its own tier, is completely interchangeable. So everything intolerable could be one which way or the other, however you guys want to put it. This is just kind of how the way that it came out for us, but yeah, it's kind of how it is. They're really they all start to blend together eventually. But next,
Yep, we have the
Drag-
part 2 of the DragonAll Super
Yeah,
update
which
with the
is-
godly MUI Goku.
yeah, let me go to that real quick. Now, this was literally just a portal update.
This was a portal update, however, it had a lot of units.
Yeah, a lot of cool ones.
For an update.
Jiren, MUI Goku, Beerus, Black Frieza, Broly, Ultra Ego Vegeta.
My favorite character, by the way.
Dude, it was just a pretty sick update. Low-key cool characters. Goku kind of sucked because he was buggy. Didn't really work. But he was still cool. He was still pretty cool. He wasn't bad. Wasn't bad in the slightest.
Next up we have the first One Punch Man update.
Yeah, that was it was just
it was
an update.
It was an update of all time.
Yeah, it was kind of there. You know, it was nice. You know, it had some cool units in it.
It was, yeah.
But I mean, it had a bunch. This is when around the
boss
time
took over.
Brandon took over. Yeah, it was around here. It was this one in the Marineford update around then. So, you know,
Yeah.
Boros was great. Garo was really good, especially after he gets his Evo later. Tatsumaki was just the GOAT. Saitama, obviously, getting his evolution. Same with Genos. It was a fun update. Easy update. Literally just Evos. It was nothing crazy. It was tolerable. Literally the best way you could put it.
We have Black Clover up next.
Yep. Black Clover, man.
The part 1 Black Clover update was pretty good. There were a couple of units in there that were useful, like Asta was good, and Julius was good for a little bit, as well as Noelle. She was good for a little while as well. But apart from that, characters like Yami and Yuno were
just
honestly not that good.
Dude, the update was literally just Asta. It was just Asta was the top DPS, and that was it. He carried it. That was basically it.
Yeah.
You know? And then, like, the ultimate Time King, he was alright. He had an ability. He had the ability of all time, you know? So,
Yeah, it's just
mid. It's just there. You know, low-key, I'm about to bring that one down to mid, low-key, I ain't gonna lie.
Here's an update that I think honestly should be brought down, but now just looking at it, we have the Demon Slayer
the
update,
Demon
part
Slayer,
1.
Yeah.
The only reason why this update is intolerable is literally just because of Rengoku,
Yeah,
because
Rengoku
he
carries
was
it.
one of the units. He was one of the units of all time.
Generational unit. Dude was good for multiple updates, but, like, that's still a mid thing, though. It's no different from the Black Clover one. It's just one good unit. That's it. So, like, low-key, we're going to bring that down to mid. I'm going to keep it real.
And then
we have the...
but we're gonna keep the other Demon Slayer update here too, because they did add more good characters like Vegito Blue.
And it had this was the tournament
as
one,
well as,
if I remember.
Yeah,
The tournament.
yeah,
update.
as well as an evolution for Rengoku, which made him a lot better. But yeah, this update was pretty good.
Yeah,
Honestly, not
it
bad.
wasn't bad. It's not mid. It was just I.
It's not mid.
It was just I. It had some really good strong characters and Idol. Idol's evolution. So
And Idle too. Yeah.
generational.
Fate's up next.
Yeah, first Fate update. Interesting one. But I mean,
It's an interesting one. Not many units. It was only Gilgamesh, Saber, Archer, and Lancer.
and the main unit was literally just Gilgamesh. He carried. But hey, we got new.
He really carried it.
Lobbies. That was
we did.
Lobbies,
very
lobbies
fun.
and story skip. So pretty good update, honestly.
Let's be real. This update was just a Legend stage update.
It was. I mean, most of these.
Just Legend
it's a
stages,
Legend stage story skip update. Then we got the first Naruto update, dude. This is a raid update, bro. It's literally you go
raid
you
update.
Go to
Pain was really the only standout unit from this update.
Yeah, and he was just a go to pity unit, dude. He had nothing cool to him. Literally, I can't even hear
Part two. Part 2 of Berserk is up next.
Oh yeah.
This update is quite literally just the Berserk update, but it just with less good units, because let's be real, the only good units from this update were Guts and Griffith. I mean, they also had Hiei and Inuyasha, but
yeah, they were
real, nobody really
playing
cared
a
about
role
them.
there, man. It was like
Nobody really cared
and
for
dude,
them.
low key, it was literally just Guts and Extreme Boosted Saitama, bro. That's kind of what it came down to. Keeping it real, that's really where it was at.
Griffith did end up being very
Griffith
good, especially his reincarnated version.
But like, dude, Guts, we know what happens to Guts later down the line.
Yeah, we'll talk about Guts' fate later.
We'll talk
Speaking of fate, we have
literal
the update 2 of Anime Last Stand.
First like main update the game ever got. So this one came in kind of like 2 parts. It literally added Saber, Genos, Frieza ripoff looking like he's from Halo, then Gojo's Evo, and then Mashley and Code Unit Speedwagon. So nothing crazy. It was an okay update, but it added Gojo. Gojo was cool at the time. He was really awesome. He was like the second best unit in the game next to Sukuna, if not better.
I was able to get Overlord on that Gojo, so
same,
it was good.
Same. So Loki, that's why it's intolerable.
Speaking of, I'm just rolling with the segues. Speaking of Overlord, next up we have the update which brought us Ainz Ul Gaon, as well as obviously the main focus of the update being the evolution of Giorno into Gold Experience Requiem. This update brought us boss rushes, which was honestly a pretty fun game mode. Wasn't too bad. It was pretty challenging, but honestly, not bad.
If I could, I can't. You know, it was fun. I mean, dude, it had probably the best thumbnail of any Anime Last Stand update. Loki, in my opinion, I think it's the coolest looking one for the game.
I disagree, but I mean, I can see
love lays in the eyes of the beholder. You know what I'm saying? So good, I can't even find it on the wiki. But next is
it does really kick butt. But speaking of kicking, rolling with the segues.
Yeah, we got the which one do you got next?
We have a very controversial update here,
the blue lock.
This is honestly one of the most hated updates in all of ALS history. It is the blue lock update. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't get why this update is so hated. It was fine.
I mean, it was just a raid update.
It was just a raid update
with
some good units.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's also because it came after the Godly QOL update, which was just a nothing burger. Then that dropped, and then the one after that with the St. Patrick's thing. But like, it was an update, man. It was there. And
I think rounding out the tolerable tier, if I'm correct, is the Godly Baryon Mode Naruto update.
We have the Halloween Part 1. Halloween Part 1 is there.
Oh, is it?
That's where I have it at. Where do you have it for you? Mid?
Oh, shoot. I forgot about the Halloween Part 1 update. We completely skipped it.
So,
oopsie daisies.
You're good. So, Halloween Part 1, this is like literally an easy one, bro. It was aight. It added... Sid's Evo was sick. His first Evo was really cool. It was mainly just him and Alucard, bro. It was just them.
Yeah. It was him and Alucard.
Easy, fun update.
And
you could literally just... Johan was really good.
Johan.
He was crazy. Turbo Granny, Ocarina sucked. Yeah, all the other units sucked. But, like, the main units were cool, and it was an easy update. So, like, it was there. But then...
Although the trailer for the update was pretty cool.
It was pretty hype seeing it. Especially seeing Turbo Granny. It was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
His name is Ocarina.
I know. But, like... I know Ocarina, bro. My literal profile picture is not.
So I think rounding out to tolerable tier is Naruto Bear.
Yeah, it was Naruto. Yeah,
update.
This low-key, I'm a
It was
low-key move it down to
overall-
mid. I'm gonna keep it real, just because Naruto's obtainment was so bad, bro. Like the secret obtainment sucked. It was so boring and annoying.
This update added obviously Naruto, Ishiki, Evolution of Sasuke, and
Boruto.
I can't even say his name.
But like literally one of the worst like godly quests of all time. Like you needed super specific units to beat the stage required, where you don't use a farm. It was just, it is so mid, bro. Genuinely so mid, in my opinion.
Speaking of mid again,
Halloween,
rolling with it.
Halloween Part 2.
We have the mid tier. So this tier mainly just has update that we didn't really care much for. Some of the updates in here were decent, but
yeah, they're just
like I said,
they're just nothing.
They're mid.
A lot of them are.
So yeah.
So
Halloween Part 2 kept up the 100K player count, but
I mean, dude,
let's be real, this was just slop.
it was a slop update. Dude, they literally copy pasted from last time just because they knew the capsules would do good, so people would macro. They upped the rewards then too, just so people would stay. Because literally the second they stopped doing that, the game did trash. The game did horrible. And we don't even need to talk about the PhD you need to use Rimuru, bro. Oh my god, bro. Jesus. Let's not talk about that.
I still personally think Rimuru is one of the most like worst godlies to use, just because I hate him so much.
All right, next up we got the Gear 5 Luffy update. So this is Infinity wanted this a bit higher. I'm gonna keep it real, dude. I can't tolerate this. I can't tolerate the obtainment for this dude. You have to die 10 times specifically to the Kaido boss. Any other one does not matter. It had to be him. And then Luffy was like, if I remember, I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, but I remember he was good on release, but he is not worth the grind that they were putting out for him. He didn't seem like he was at all. He was just kind of eh. It was one of them throwaway godly updates that they eventually became like, godlies just weren't as cool. His attainment was mid. It was just boring.
I mean, it was all right though. The units were good though. Units were good.
Units were
probably solid.
It was mid. It was mid and mid. Next is the solo leveling.
Next up we have solo leveling.
Yeah, this where is this puppy at?
This is our
Where is this?
It was just an update.
Yeah, it was
an updatable.
Yeah,
it added the dungeon mode. We got dungeons. Dungeons are nice. The quest for Sung Jin Woo wasn't that bad, but Sung Jin Woo himself was also a pretty decent godly with his ability to use the shadows to also attack. So honestly, not bad, but also
and his attainment was just boring.
Not bad,
especially because the fact of how long it takes to just get him to a secret form to evo him to this one. Pity. Just
Yep.
And this
we have the raid update.
Yeah, we got
this is the update that did bring us raids.
Yeah, this is like the third update of the game, I think.
Yeah.
No, fourth.
Well, not the third. It's like the fifth or sixth
Yeah.
update.
It was just dude, this is just
it brought us Shanks and Itachi.
You go in, dude,
and raid.
You go in, you do the raid. It's hard. You get rerolls and you reroll, man. It's so peak, right? It's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
After the raid update, we have the part 2 of the original solo leveling update, which this update was alright. It brought us the evolution of Sung Jin Woo into the winter coat Sung Jin Woo, which was really good for a little while.
One of the best units in the game, and we got Businessman Nujin, one of the best farms ever. Lasted the longest in the game's history. But dude, it was a pity.
I still love that.
I mean, dude, it's a pity merchant update though. It's literally just pity. That's it. All it came down to. Next up is the.
Then we have the Valentine's Day update.
Yeah, the first Valentine's Day update. Dude, this update is carried by Yuta just because of his value and how cool he was when he came out, but.
And Boa, because Boa was a very good unit.
But like, it's just a portal update, dude. They added portals and portals were like you go into the portal and you do it. It was just like AA. There was nothing special to it. It was just they were just adding it to the game. It was as mid as you can get with it. Same with the solo leveling part 1 update. I don't think it wasn't portals, but it was literally just a You do raids, or was it
Yeah.
raids, or was it just story?
It was
Yeah, it was
raids.
just
Yeah,
raids.
it
It
was
was literally just raids.
the Demon City. We don't really need to spend much time on the part 1 update because it's almost the exact same as
Yeah,
part
it's
2.
just pity. And then
Moving on, we have the this was technically a QOL update, but this is the update that brought us Kefla. Um, I think it brought us a couple other
yeah,
units, but I can't
it was Abyss. Let me see.
remember who they were.
I gotta find them.
But yeah, it was Shisui.
Yeah,
We also get Shisui too.
Shisui. Yeah, he was cool. He was a cool unit. Nothing special, nothing too
Yeah.
crazy and special about him, but he was cool.
This next update I have a very big gripe with, and that is obviously the main Fate update, which brought us the godly Gilgamesh and Enkidu duo unit.
A lot of people did not like the Gilgamesh attainment, bro. I've heard a lot of bad things about it, but
However, the good news is that the attainment was worth it for one of, if not the most infamous and historically greatest godlies that we have ever gotten.
Dude, he would beat everything, bro. Every nag vid you watched on ALS, that man was on that team carrying constantly.
It's a shame we probably won't be able to use him in World 3.
It's a shame none of our units are apparently going to be good in World 3. So, love the boss, love Brandon. But then
we love you, Brandon.
Yeah, next up we got.
Speaking of Brandon, we have the. Well, technically, this is just another Dragon Ball Super update.
Brandon Blue Abyss update. You know how it is.
I'm noticing a trend here that getting down the line, there aren't many good Dragon Ball updates, and that'll be evident with.
It sucks because there isn't any good ones at all. It's like Tori.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about one of them.
Yeah, maybe
very soon.
Maybe Toriyama is protecting the brand here, but yeah, no, dude, this is just dude, you get Blue Goku and Vegeta. They go to Gogeta, and Gogeta was pretty good. Was he as cool as people wanted? No. Apparently, a lot of people were kind of disappointed with how bad he was. But, hey, he was there. He was cool looking, and he had one of the cooler thumbnails in the game. That was it.
We also had Extreme Boost for Broly as well.
Yeah, it was cracked.
Broly was a very, very strong unit.
He was very strong, very strong. But,
as well as an evolution for Jiren, which was also very good as well.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, what unit is not good when they release? And now we get to see the AV and ALS St. Patrick's Day little combo thing they
April
did.
Fool's thing,
and AV's better, guys. Come on.
Honestly, this update didn't really give us many things. We got Kirito and Unohana.
Epic new raid. And it's just a normal raid. That's it. It's a raid update, man.
I mean, the raid was harder, but
that's
still.
It, right? It was just a raid update. So we just gonna skip past that thing. Now we're gonna talk about the
Black Clover Part 2.
Black Clover Part 2 update. Now take a guess. What happened in this update?
Asta was the only good unit.
Asta was the only good unit. It was.
Well, I mean, you also had
you
also had Conrad
and Yuno. But like.
Which they were good, but dude, Asta was literally just
it was literally just like the last one, bro. Asta's the main top DPS. That's it, and he works for it. That was the whole update, man. And then we have the
next update we have up here is the Summer Prep update, which gave us evolutions for Meliodas and also released 2 new pretty decent units, being the Angel Devil from Chainsaw Man and Buddha from Record of Ragnarok. By the way, Brandon, if you're watching this, Record of Ragnarok update.
Dude, don't give him ideas, bro. Don't let him ruin another anime.
I'm not gonna, dude. Bala. At this point, I don't care if he ruins it or not. I just want to see it.
Bro, gonna come back to playing Roblox for it. But yeah, no, dude, it was a summer.
I will genuinely return if it happens.
I mean, dude, this update was literally just you get Meliodas, and then there's summer prep capsules that just have a bunch of bullshit in it. That's kind of what it came down to, man.
Which, next up, this update, honestly, I kind of wanted this update higher. It was actually low-key not too bad. Being the Chainsaw Man update with Godly Denji.
But I mean, dude, the only reason we got it really so low is just because he was kind of an underwhelming Godly, and he got overshadowed by Makima, man. How are you going to be the main
got overshadowed by Makima. Yoru was also really good, too. Power was surprisingly really good.
Akka was better, bro. Like, how you gonna be the main godly of your update and be garbage? How, dude?
I also forgot that Reze was apparently in this update too.
Yeah, she was, but I don't think she was all that good. She was there though.
Yeah,
she was there.
Sucks though. She was there. She was existing. Next update we have. I usually just call this the Demon Slayer update.
Yes.
Which all 4 characters were technically Demon Slayers, but only 2 of them were from Demon Slayer.
Yeah, it was
We of course had Tanjiro and Yoriichi, and then we also had
Dante
Dante and
well,
Virgil from Devil May Cry,
who
based off of the Devil May Cry
game.
Netflix show.
Yeah, the Netflix show. Yeah, that is the Netflix show. It should have just gone
Love that freaking
games,
show.
low-key.
Tanjiro was really good. Yoriichi kind of sucked, but Dante was also pretty good. But Virgil was kind of
I mean, dude, it was just dude, y'all know what it is, bro. Legend Stage Nothing Burger update, man. That's just what it comes down to. Genuinely, that's just kind of what it comes down to. All right.
And similar to that one, we also had the survival update with Bleach, which this Bleach update was not all bad. We had the evolutions for both Ulquiorra and Aizen, as well as release free units like Renji, Uryu, Shinji, and Soifon, which this update was okay.
Yeah, but dude,
it wasn't too bad.
Dude, it wasn't too good. It's just a survival and raid update, man. It's that, and like the same goes for the Raid Zero update, bro. We don't even gotta talk about that one that much, bro. Literally, you pull up in the raid or the survival or whatever it was for Raid Zero. You go in there, you just place down the strongest units you got. Extreme boosted ones or whatever at the time, you mollywop it, you're done. AFK overnight.
Yeah,
got it.
These 2 updates are quite literally a copy and paste with different.
Yeah, and then the same goes for the other Black Clover update. Like the first, which one was this one right here? So I got this in there. Was this the? What did I put in the Black Clover update twice? Or did I move it?
You might have accidentally.
No, I moved it. I forgot I moved it here. Yeah, so that's the end of mid tier.
Yeah.
End of mid tier. Just
so now we're moving on to the garbage tier.
Yes.
So the garbage tier is going to be filled with a lot of updates that we actually can rant about a little bit.
Well,
then obviously we're gonna save the.
We're
gonna save the biggest.
We should low key just speed through these, bro. I'm not gonna lie, these were all bad updates.
Yeah,
terrible, bro.
We have a couple of things to say about the updates that were in the brand.
We'll let the Brandon tier speak for itself, but. Let's just speed through these.
Let's start off with the Jujutsu Kaisen update.
Yeah,
Jujutsu Kaisen update was just bad. It came. The units were good. However, the reason why this update was bad was because it really.
Oh, you just cut out really bad, dude.
Thing ALS has ever done, which is of course rifts.
Yeah, rifts and breaches, bro. They just sucky drops, sucky, annoying. Getting a token from a portal just for a shop when the portal opens is stupid, bro. Maki was good.
And unfortunately, Yuta and Itadori were good, but they could not save this update.
Yeah, it was
Next
bad.
up, we have the One Piece update, which is literally the same as ReZero and the Bleach update, just survival.
Yeah, it was just survival. A couple of Evos from previous times, but that was it, dude. It was nice. It was eh. And then we got the Valentine. What was that? The Valentine's Part 2 update with
the next 2 updates are Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Valentine's Part 1 and 2. They're basically the same. You might as well put them together. It's literally just a capsule portal update, man. That they didn't even have capsules. Nah, it was just portals.
Yeah, they did have capsules. They had capsules. Yeah, they did. But they did.
Even then, it was just Garbin's update, bro. Couldn't even get Roger when he came out because he was bugged. All these other units.
The next two updates are 2 of the triple threat, which I call the main 3 updates that were just bad. The first one being part 1 of the Bleach 1000-Year Blood War update, which brought us actually not bad units like Yamamoto and Yuhabaha. But the main problem with this update was just so buggy.
Yeah, dude, they introduced passives and they just didn't work. Or that was part 2, but like the units just didn't they just didn't work, bro. They were just mid. They were just mid.
They were mid. If you were not Yamamoto or Yuhabaha, you were just mid.
Yeah, and Grammy was good, but like that was it, dude. He didn't really get all that insane until the Extreme Boost update for him. And same with the Rimmer, and same with the first.
We'll talk about those things later.
Yeah, same with the first Reincarnated as a Slime update.
The Slime. Rimmer.
Yeah, well, this was
the second of the triple threats.
Yeah, it was just this is one of the worst portal updates we got. Had one of the worst pities, worst drop rates, worst units. The only good unit was Rimuru, and he was like mid. Veldora was also really good, but it was just because he was a light element, and we needed a light full AoE unit, bro. That was it, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
They just sucked bones. And then we got
and then we got the dreaded update that released the Abyssal Trials, being the Abyssal Trial update. This update gave us characters like Anos and Wong Ling, as well as I think that's Death the Kid and Kagurabachi.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know the dude's name from Kagurabachi,
I think it's
but
literally
yeah,
just
the update
Gagan.
was
It was,
bad.
yeah,
The update was just
the
bad.
units weren't as good as they should have been. Should have just been godlies, and they were mid, bro. All that work for none. Then the Easter update came out, and that was a mess, bro. Mess of an update. Didn't
Yeah.
drop any really cool units. It was just there, man. It was an update of all time. Monaco literally has one use, and that's for the Naruto Godly questline, and she's the only good unit from the update. That's it, bro. Just boring.
It was just
Bleach
Madoka.
update.
I don't care. I don't care if you say, well, Akame was good. No, she wasn't. She was replaced within 2 weeks.
Exactly, as with
Stop lying
every
to
ALS
yourself.
update. Then we got the first Dragon Ball update, which
It's insult. It's just an
insult to
insult.
Akira Toriyama's death. I'm sorry to say it was a joke, bro. If he saw that, which he probably never would have in his entire 17 million lifetimes he could have ever lived, he would never have seen this. And I'm glad he didn't, because this update sucked, didn't work, it was broken, and it should be shameful. It's a stain. It is an absolute stain on
The next
Tower
update
Defense
is also nothing to really talk about because this update literally just released 3 units, one of them being Zamasu, and
yeah, Zamasu, Isekai Demon
the only
King,
reason
and some other woman.
the only is not in the Brandon tier is because it gave us an evolution for Garo, which that evolution was very strong.
Yeah, he was peak. But that's it. That's it. Same goes for the Full Metal Alchemist update in 2025. Guess what, dude? Sorry to say, it has one of the worst Bradley models I have ever seen. Just
And the game just was not that good. This update brought us the Siege game mode, which has only been used twice. The one for this and the other for the Baryon mode Naruto update. Yeah, the only really good unit from this update were Edward and Alphonse, as well as Bradley. But apart from those two, the other everybody else just was kind of
they were
mid.
just there. Boring game mode that's no different from the other ones that they showed. They're literally the exact same copy-paste game modes. Same with the Attack on Titan update.
We had Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that was...
Can you believe that Brandon said that this update was part 1 of Attack on Titan?
And we never got it again.
We never got a part 2? Ever.
But glad we didn't, because
I think it would be interesting to see a godly Eren, though. A godly founding Titan Eren. That would be pretty cool.
Be cool,
but
like,
yeah, this update kind of sucked.
Yeah,
this update just sucked.
A raid,
like
bro.
it was just really bad.
Merchant update. Same with the we're just gonna talk about it right now. The Tokyo Ghoul update that just recently came out. It was a pity merchant update, bro. Literally just pity, go to pity. Oh, Halloween update dropped. So it must be good. Sucked. All the units were really trash. People rolled on them, and they hated that they rolled on them because they were bad. They were just terrible units. They sucked. Womp womp. They were all bad.
And then finally in the garbage tier, we have the Demon Slayer update. Yeah, just sucked. The only good unit from this update was Akaza, and that's literally it, bro. That's it. That's literally all we have to say about that update. It was just such a nothing burger of an update.
Yeah, Rengoku's Demon Extreme Boost, dude. It just wasn't good. Didn't hold him up to
all right, and now we move on to the final tier of the tier list, the home stretch, the Brandon tier. This update in this tier is for the worst of the worst, just the most downright bad updates of all time.
Brendan Yahoo
and we need to start out with the Fire Force update, the Godly Shinra update.
This was terrible, bro. One of the worst game modes of all time, with one of the longest grinds, the weakest Evo for Benimaru. Like, he was good, but dude, he was not on the same level he was on his peak, bro. He could have been way better, but he wasn't.
And then there was Shinra. Shinra was just...
He sucked.
Bad.
He was bad.
Bad.
Arthur and Benimaru were the two best in the update, bro. And Shinra he was not that good, bro. It was just mid. Yeah. Same with the Freerun update. Literally the exact same thing happened in that update. Freerun just sucked. In comparison, Freerun was just bad. Like, she just wasn't good, bro. Godly Freerun just wasn't it.
And her grind did not make up for it at all, because she was a bad unit and her grind was insanely difficult.
Yeah.
You were better off with Gilgamesh.
Yeah, you were better off using literally any other godly that was getting buffed at the time. Like, it was just Mid.
The next update we can really skip. This update was just
Yeah,
mid QOL.
Which one?
This update gave us a couple of evos for some Demon Slayer units like Giyu, Tanjiro, and Zenitsu, as well as for some reason just adding Yorichi and Kawaki for some reason.
Yeah, it was like, what the fuck, bro? I don't.
Then there's part 2 of the Halloween update of 2024,
Well,
which
hold on,
was
on
the
my
One Piece Thriller Bark theme.
Which one are you? Well, okay, so you got it a little bit different. Listen to me. Yeah, the Halloween Part 2 update, dude, this thing was... Yeah, it was bad, bro. Dude, literally all the units sucked. The grind was terrible. It took forever. Like, the only thing that was redeeming about it was that Luffy had relatively high DPS, but that was it, dude. And he was just bad. His model looked ugly. All the other characters were worthless. Even the other farm they added, she wasn't even good. Really worth using at all, to keep it real. So, nothing but her Halloween update from literally my favorite holiday. Just had to spit on it. But the next one.
What's next?
Next one we got. The JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Godly Dio update. One of the worst updates in the entire game, in my opinion, because it was literally locked behind a 3-day time gate.
If you think the Halloween update insulted Vala because Halloween is his favorite holiday, how do you think this insulted me for JoJo's being one of my favorite animes?
Like, dude, Poochie was goated in this update. He was
Poochie was really good.
The grind it took to get Dio took me nearly a month. Don't ask me why, but it was because the legend stage was impossible to find people for because I wasn't strong enough to do it solo. It just sucked. It was one of the worst updates of all time. And you tell me I had to wait 3 days to do it? 3 separate occasions I had to find a perfect team that would actually want to grind it with me at the right time? Hell no. Hell no. This update, garbage. All the other units that wasn't Poochie and Dio, garbage. Worthless units, bro. Actual Garbinzo update. Spit in the face of Araki. Same with the spit in the face that Brandon gave us when he partnered with iPhone to do a little Galaxy Fortnite character.
Oh, it was Samsung. It was Samsung.
Samsung, yeah.
Yeah, Samsung.
So, we all know how that update was. Get your Samsung Galaxy S20 or whatever it was, your flip phone.
I still have a thing against my friend because one of my friends was I told my friend, hey, I got the new unit. I'm gonna showcase him to see how good he is, and I rolled Overlord on him just because. So I went to go test him out. The unit sucked, and then he's like, "You're not giving it a fair comparison. You should try get Avatar and glitch down." I was like, "You know what? Fine. I will try and get an Avatar." So I rolled, got an Avatar, and I was like, "If he sucks, I will murder you." Let's just say that the population of that city is down by 1.
Yeah, he just sucks. Yeah,
it's bad.
Next up, we got.
And then I don't even know what they were thinking with the next update being the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, one of the worst updates the game's ever got. Not only were the characters, they were pretty, they were strong, but like, dude, they were not that good, bro. They weren't it.
Like, Cloud was useful for the Halloween update. Sephiroth was just
all the other units sucked, bro. Dude, Sephiroth was supposed to be the GOAT. Sucked. This was like the most filler garbage update of all time, bro. It was genuinely just trash. Literally, story mode legend stage grinding update. Terrible. Shouldn't even exist.
And the next updates we have are, of course, the infamous
Extreme Boost. Yeah. So we're gonna line these up right here. So the first one we have is the one where Benimaru and Giorno got their Extreme Boost. That was that was an update of all time.
That was an update of all time.
Literally,
and then we also had Poochie and Shinra,
which also broke the game once more. And then guess what came after that one? Take a guess. The
Gurren Lagann.
Yeah. Well, let's just go over all the QL updates before we touch Gurren Lagann. So, the next one was the Yuji and Guts, the infamous Yuji and Guts Extreme Boost, which broke the game.
Those guys incinerated anything.
Literally did quadrillions of damage. Unbeatable, unkillable gods of the game. You could not stop them. They did everything. Literally everything. The last update of 2025, and it broke it. It broke the game. Seriously, it did. Broke the game by far. And then, what was the one that had Genos and Arthur on it? Which one was that?
Yeah, it had Genos, Arthur, and a couple others.
Oh, that was this one. That was the Thanksgiving update. Dude, I thought that.
That was Thanksgiving.
Dude, that was so bad. I thought it was a QL update. Oh my god, my bad. We won't talk about that one just
Yeah.
yet. But then we also had the
Let's talk about Christmas. Let's talk about Christmas actually.
Christmas. Well, hold on. Let's do Gurren Lagann. Let's do Gurren Lagann. So, Gurren Lagann update.
Yeah.
I hate this update. I already have a video on it. This update sucked. It was so bad, bro. Literally.
In my opinion, this update was just like the anime.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Whoa.
And,
Whoa.
Yeah, I am an avid hater of Gurren
Yeah,
Lagann.
dude. Yo, you are never getting on another tier list video again, bro. Guess man.
And hey, before you ask, yes, I watched the show.
Yeah, nah, bro. Dude, you get negative karma points for that. That's terrible.
Every single episode that happened.
Dude, you're cutting out, bro. I think Simone is messing with your
Spoiler.
Wi-Fi, bro. All I know, Simone's my goat, one of the best animes of all time, top 10, easy top 10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
But
Me when I lie.
no, but nah, dude. Simone literally just dominated the update. All the other units were trash. Had one of the worst obtainments of all time, dude.
Poor anti-spiral, dude.
Anti-Spiral got done so dirty, bro. He was the first unit. Simone was the first unit that did 1 trillion damage. Whoopee, you couldn't use him in any game mode and actually get him up to that amount unless it was infinite. So, good luck, man.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. He sucked. He sucked otherwise.
What's next?
Next up, we got the what was the one where they turned they just turned Ukiura around. Which one was that? That was
that was the most recent Extreme Boost update where we got Extreme Boost for characters like Bobak and Ukiura and Kenpachi and Zoro. All those. They were good, but it's an Extreme Boost update. They all suck.
Yeah, it was buy them in the shop for $80, bro. It's worth it for sure. But the
we have 5 more updates that we need to talk about.
So the Thanksgiving update.
Ugh.
Who thought it
6.
was a good penile smalling enhancement update to make it so that you time gate max level cap increases on just AFK macroing? Actual most garbage.
Whoever thought it was a good idea
time.
should be put in a freaking insane asylum.
Not Bryden. Oh my god, it's my boy's name. Brandon, dude, send him to the gulag and have him molested immediately, bro. That is one of the worst choices of all time. Genuinely bottom 5.
Yeah.
Bottom 5 choices, dude. Terrible. Same goes with the Christmas update, dude. It was exactly the same. Had even worse models on the characters. I mean, dude, look at Ukiura, bro. Literally the worst model I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. Genuinely, one of the worst. But I mean, dude, it was the same thing. Literally just macro. They tried to capture the love of the Halloween stuff, and it wasn't gonna work a third time, bro.
It's time. It's time to talk about the bottom 4.
Yeah.
The 4 worst updates,
which are the foremost
anime last stand
most recent ones. So we're gonna start off.
Let's start out with
Gachiata. So this update, I've played it, made a video on it on my hatred. This update fucking sucks. You had a character, the Scissor Girl, that literally broke the game and crashed it so that you could not use her. The main Gachiata unit, I don't even remember his name, but Rudo. His obtainment was, I watched the Radnal video, you literally sit in a corner, AFK on an infinite stage until you eventually get a cutscene. That's it. That's the entire update, man. That people were waiting, people were so hyped for it, and they were thinking, oh, it's going to be so good, and 2K players. Just suck, bro.
Next up, we have the most recent update in ALS, being the Valentine's Day update, which gave us Yuta and Maki duo unit, which honestly, not a bad unit concept.
It's just
the
update sucked, bro. It was literally the most they were like, dude, new mechanics, new game mode. No, it's the same thing. You sit in there with the strongest units, even after they nerfed them, you beat it in 5 seconds, and you hit replay over and 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 over again. Just like you're going home from school on COVID, or like you just got off your online class and you go to the bathroom and you jerk off. You jerk off. That's it. That's it. That's all you're doing. That is this entire update. Bro. Actual garbage. Actual garbage, bro. Straight up.
All right. I think it's time we get into the bottom 2.
Yeah, so
the worst updates in the entire game.
So we gotta address.
Let's start with the update that killed the game.
Literally killed the game.
Murdered the game.
So the Hunter x Hunter update literally had the worst system edition upgrade of all time, which was the soul upgrading system. Actually literally brought them down to nearly below 1,000 players. I think it might have actually at one point too, if I remember.
Yeah.
Literally killed it. New content was terrible. There was a rank system. It sucked. Soul plus Infinite rework, bro. That Soul rework was so bad, bro. If you want to go more in depth on it, go for it.
I don't need to. It was just awful.
Yeah,
like, it was just really bad.
Y'all had to be there, but basically Souls became completely garbage and unusable, and they just ruined the game because now you made it so that everyone who grinded for all those characters, all them souls and all that worthless time, garbage. You literally just ruined an entire part of the game. But then we have the worst.
I think it's time. We have
arguably
the worst.
Yeah, arguably
the worst update
to
of all
ever
time.
drop.
Said by Brandon to actually maybe be the best and most hardworking update of all time. Turned out to be one of the buggiest and one of the worst things I have ever played on Roblox.
Lowest quality update. Lowest quality. Every other unit, every unit's model was buggy, was wrong, did not work, had 5 minutes of effort put into it that I could do way better for. And above all else, $120 bundle that you had.
We are, of course, talking about the Dragon Ball Super update, the last standing Goku update.
Yeah, where you were allowed to pay $20 for each of the 6 different Evo items. Dumbest thing of all time, pure greed. Dude, had the easiest godly of all time to ever get, which was Beast Gohan and Soul Max, but guess what, dude? They sucked because they didn't work half the time. They either didn't work, bugged out your game, or they just didn't do what they were supposed to do. They just genuinely didn't work. Genuinely, Piccolo, literally his model has holes in it. Does big, huge damage for no reason, transforms, nukes the whole map, and now you win. Same with the true UI Goku, who's also, this isn't even true Ultra Instinct Goku, by the way. This is literally just mastered Ultra Instinct Goku from the Moral Art. True Ultra Instinct Goku has black hair and is literally UI Omen Goku with a slight spikier hair and different face. That's it. Couldn't even do that right. And he does a sextillion damage. You know what the strongest unit previously before him was? Yuji, who had about a couple trillion to quadrillion DPS. The difference between a quadrillion and sextillion is like, I think it's like 20 to 30 zeros. So take that as you will. Yeah. Take that as you will. That was the power creep of this update for no reason. No reason.
Now, of course, the next update that is said to come out for Anime Last Stand is the infamous World 3.
Yeah, which is going to save the game. No, it won't.
Which is going to save the game.
Open the door. It's going to open the door for more opportunities for me to steal money, says Brandon, the boss.
Here's what's going to happen. I will be genuinely shocked if this update is good.
If World 3 somehow comes back,
I'll be genuinely shocked.
World 3 somehow comes back, God bless the soul of Brandon. He's been blessed by the luck of God with some of the best scripters and modelers ever, if that's the case. Otherwise,
here's what's going to happen, all right?
It's already going to die more somehow than it already has.
If this update is good, I will quite literally fly to Antarctica and walk 50 miles barefoot.
He said butt naked before, by the way. He's
No, I didn't.
He did. He's lying to you. So yeah, that's something. That's something.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah.
And of course, that is the end. That is every single
update.
Anime Last Stand update.
Every single, all 84 of them. Besides, we missed a couple QL ones, but we're not gonna talk about those, bro. They're worthless.
But who cares?
Yeah. So this is the tier list. Everybody. It was a long video. Probably still an hour, but better than the 2 hours we did on it before. So
yeah, let's just hope we have that audio.
Yeah, no, the audio's good. It's covered. So that's
thanks for having me. Thanks for having me today.
Thanks for coming back on like 3 hours later after we recorded it.
And for those people, if you guys want to see more tier lists, like hey, maybe if you want to see an Anime Vanguard's tier list,
we might do it.
Drop a like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment saying what was your favorite Anime Last Stand video and what was your least favorite. Actually, no, what was your favorite Anime Last Stand update? And what was your least favorite
It's
anime
probably
last
just
stand
gonna be the
update?
ones that we
Yeah,
put
that'd
in.
be some nice comments.
Yeah, look, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to see. But yeah, guys,
I'd love to see your opinions.
yes.
And also, I'd love to see your critiques and thoughts on the tier list in the comments as well. Hope we can have some funny little civil discussions. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah. Some of y'all are like
but-
low key crazy about this game too. I ain't gonna lie. Some of y'all are pretty crazy. But
Yeah, we should be able to get this update. We should be able to get this vid out soon. Again,
Yeah,
thank you
6
for having
a.m.,
me.
6
It
a.m.
is 2 a.m. I am gonna go to bed now.
Good night, man. All right, good night, everybody. That was a good
All right.
video. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all whenever I take a piss in my toilet next time.